So behind me I have a 2019 Volvo VNR with the D13 engine, and I'm going to go over how OTR Diagnostics is going to give you the capabilities to read your fault codes, view your live data, and also perform bidirectional commands. Now this is a full capability diagnostic tool that's going to equip you to get connected on this truck. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to plug in OTR Link 2 adapter inside the diagnostic port, which is located in the kick panel on the left-hand side. So the key is on. I'm going to go ahead and just open up OTR Diagnostics. It's going to go through the connection process. I'm going to select my adapter that I have here, which is the 410. And then it's going to just ask me if I want to do a Bluetooth pairing request. I haven't connected to this adapter yet, so it went ahead and just connected. And right now it's going through the process of retrieving all the fault codes. And on this Volvo, specifically in Volvos and Macks, but on this truck right now, what we're going to see is P codes from the fault code list. So what we do here is with OTR Diagnostics is we give you the accurate fault code information as if you were to take your truck into the dealership. We give you the exact same information with OTR Diagnostics. So you'll be able to see that here. You'll be able to see any active codes or inactive codes. And what we have here is kind of the dashboard. We landed on the dashboard. We have fault codes, live data, commands. So we're just going to go to fault codes. We're going to hit the fault code tab at the bottom here, and we see at the very top SA16 Volvo ECM here, and we see some fault codes that are tied to CAN communication issues. And it looks like all these fault codes are inactive, but you'll see kind of more information once you tap into the fault code. You'll be able to see all the information here. So there just looks like a bunch of CAN communication issues. It looks like the Volvo ACM, it has a U000188. Again, another CAN communication fault code. Sometimes what happens with these is if the CAN goes down because there's a CAN communication issue, or because there's, let's say, an ELD device on it, if there's anything that's going on with the CAN, it's probably going to throw fault codes, and there's a history of what fault codes that it did. So just like there's some brake fault codes as well, headway controller, lane guidance, and then the safety direct processor. So just like a lot of different inactive fault codes that it looks like. It looks like some lane departure warning fault codes as well. So we just kind of went through all the different fault codes. We just kind of gave you a good list of them. There's obviously 26 inactive fault codes on this truck. And what's nice about the Volvo fault codes that we give you access to, again, like I said, we do cover all the fault codes on every module on this truck. So there's the Volvo engine computer, there's the Volvo transmission, and then there's also the Volvo Aftertreatment system. And so we kind of give you the access for all the different fault codes that you can get off this truck, as well as all the other ones, all the other systems on this truck as well. You got Brendex for other parts of the truck, your brake controllers, your headway controller, so all the other extra modules that are on this truck for safety. We do give you the access to be able to see those fault codes as well as clear those fault codes as well. So for instance, we're going to go to the live data tab, and what you see in the live data tab is just like parameters that you're able to see in real time. So right now this truck is not on. So if you click on the live data tab at the bottom, you'll be able to see all the data on this truck. You'll be able to see like your accelerator pedal position, your ambient air temperature, your battery voltage, your DF tank level, your tank temperature, your DPF soot level, your coolant temp, coolant level, crankcase pressure, your engine exhaust temperature, your engine fuel rate, your boost pressure, your intake manifold temperature, your engine load, engine oil level, engine oil pressure, engine oil temperature, engine speed, and then you'll be able to see your engine total hours of operation, your engine total idle fuels used, your engine total idle hours, and you'll get more access with all this live data as well. Now, once you get connected and you see all the live data parameters, next you might wonder like, okay, how's my truck doing? Can I do any type of commands? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through all the different commands that we have available as well. So we have reset fault codes under the reset fault code menu, and this is going to reset all the modules on this Volvo truck. We have reset after treatment, which is going to be resetting the DPF soot level and the reset learned ash levels and the reset learned data. So if you replace certain sensors on your truck, you would definitely need to hit this reset, because we are resetting the reset learned data when we do this reset. And then we also have capability of running 3 different regens on a Volvo truck. We have reset forced DPF regen, forced SCR regen, and then we have the crystal crystal sublimation regen. Once the crystal sublimation regen or the forced SCR regen or the forced DPF regen, you want to make sure that the truck is running and we're going through that process of initiating the regen. And once it's initiating the regen, we just want to make sure that the regen, once it's started, it just stays live with the truck. So with OTR Diagnostics, when you initiate the regen, you want to make sure that the phone is open, that the phone is connected to the truck, and we want to make sure that we don't like walk away, because it will stop the regen on a Volvo truck once the regen process has started. So we're going to go ahead and just show how a forced DPF regen works, and we're just going to go ahead and start the truck, let it idle. Now we're going to want to make sure that the truck is up to temperature, and we're going to want to make sure that the forced DPF regen, once we go through that process, we start it, and then we can go ahead and let the truck run through the regen. And we can always, as well, for Volvo, we can stop the regen as well. Let's say now is not a good time to stop the regen. We would obviously go through and make sure, you know, once you start it, you want to let it go through the entire regen process. Let's say you want to stop it prematurely, you can hit the stop regen button on the Volvo, and you can stop it prematurely if, let's say, you want to stop the regen process before it finishes. So we're in the commands menu. We'll click force regen. We'll click force DPF regen. We'll hit continue, and then start force DPF regen. So it says attempting to start regen, and then what you'll hear behind me is the regen RPM increasing. Now, if the RPM is not increasing, it's because that there's potential issue with the truck. So right now it says, did the engine RPM increase to 800 RPM or more? If yes, the regen started. If not, then obviously no, RPM did not increase. Because you could have active fault codes, engine is not warmed up to operating temperature, or inhibit conditions that preventing a regen, where it's not idling, your park brake is on, some other way. If you have a failed regen, we always recommend turning the key off for 1 minute and trying again. So what we're going to do is just go to the dashboard and just see what the coolant temperature is. And I think we're trying to start the regen with the coolant temperature not being at the appropriate level. So right now the engine coolant temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're just going to wait for this truck to come up to temp, and then we're going to go ahead and start that forced DPF regen again, just to show you that it is working once the truck is warmed up. Now the truck is warmed up to where we got the capabilities to do the forced DPF regen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to commands. We're going to click forced DPF regen. We're going to hit continue, and we're just going to make sure we go ahead and start that process. So it says it's attempting to start regen, and what you'll hear behind me is the truck starting to ramp up the RPM. And here it did start the forced DPF regen, so we're going to go ahead back onto the dashboard, and what you'll notice is that the RPM did kick up to about 1100 RPM. And so what we're able to see with this is that it's going to start increasing the turbo EGT, which is like your exhaust gas temperature, and it's going to keep rising because it's trying to generate heat to burn off the DPF soot that's in the filter. So we're also going to be paying attention to your soot level. We're going to be paying attention to your turbo boost, and what we're also going to just be paying attention to is your engine load. And you'll start to see your engine load increase or decrease depending on the different regen levels, because it's starting to generate heat. So once it finishes through the process, you can also go through your live data parameters and just monitor your live data parameters while it's doing a regen, and just to see exactly like what's the status of the, let's say, your soot level or other status related to your after treatment system. So as you can see, the RPM, the temperature for your turbo is already rising up pretty quickly while it's doing a regen. So we're just going to go ahead and hit stop regen, and you'll hear the RPM come down once we stop the regen. And it's just going to come back to idle. So once the regen finishes, it's going to do exactly that. It's going to come back down to idle, and you're just going to hit stop regen once the truck is back to idle. And what you'll notice is the truck is going to need a cool off period of time. So once you finish a regen, just let the truck cool off, give it another 10 minutes, let the truck exhaust temperatures come back down before you turn off the truck. That ensures that the system is just cooled off in order for you to go ahead and just turn off the truck. Just gonna go ahead and turn the truck off. With OTR Diagnostics, you also have the capabilities to view history. So as you use OTR Diagnostic, all the history, all the fault codes and commands that you do with OTR Diagnostics is stored in a cloud. And what that means is it gives you capabilities to, so if you reset the fault codes on this truck and you plug into it again, we store all the past history of this truck into the cloud so you can reference it later. What's nice about this functionality is that if you reset your fault codes today, and let's say you take your truck into the shop, well, you'd want to know what fault codes you cleared with OTR Diagnostics. And that's what the fault codes, the history tab of OTR Diagnostics gives you the capability of doing. So you can go to the main dashboard, there's a bottom section where it says history. And when you see there is all the fault codes that were stored, whether it's in the last 90 days or 30 days or even today. And you'll be able to see all the different fault codes that was stored. And once you can even click on those fault codes and to see more information. So if you ever wonder what the issues are or what the issues were in the previously on the previous connection, you can go ahead and do that using the history section of OTR Diagnostics. So I just showed you the capabilities of OTR Diagnostics on this Volvo VNR behind me. So we went over viewing your fault codes, viewing your live data, and also viewing all the different commands that we have available. You can check it out at otrperformance.com to get an updated list on coverage and capabilities. Thanks for watching.